And then finally, in Exodus chapter 1, verse 22, after they welcomed in, after they put them into slavery, after they tried to destroy them, after they tried to kill all the men and devalue the men in the community, it says, then Pharaoh, by the time we get to verse 22, then Pharaoh gave this order to all the people, throw every newborn Hebrew boy into the Nile River, but you may let the girls live. I need you to destroy the boys by suffocation. Pharaoh ordered his people to drown all the boys. Now drowning is a form of suffocation where people die of the inability to breathe or retrieve air. I can see those Hebrew boys down on the ground suffering and suffocating with Pharaoh's knee on their neck saying, I can't breathe, while the entire country sees it on video, but some folk have no desire or compassion for better treatment when he's lying there saying, I can't breathe, because the plan is to kill, steal, destroy, separate, and take over. Is there a witness in the house? Somebody say yeah. Somebody say yeah. Well, people of African descent didn't necessarily receive a warm welcome when arriving in this country, but after the Civil War and the ending of slavery, land was promised, as in the case of the Hebrew boys, but the promise was soon reversed through the passing of laws and systems. Although slavery was legally ended, new forms of slavery were implemented through Jim Crow laws that attempted to nullify any progress made through Reconstruction. And these new systems of slavery systems were implemented that were brutal, but the descendants from Africa, they still thrive. It was at this point where systems encouraged black on black crime. You'll get less time for killing another black than you did if you killed somebody else. And so in our communities, we used our conflict of resolution. We picked up the guns instead of having conversations and maybe a fight to where both got a chance to see the next day. We used guns against one another and took lives because the penalty was not as harsh. Now here, I often wonder how people that claim to be of high morals can so often seem to consistently devalue black lives. And I then read this study which answered my question. Sociologists Keith Kilty and Eric Swank, they observed that eliminating savages is less of a moral problem than eliminating human beings, and therefore American Indians came to be understood as a lesser race, uncivilized savages, thus providing justifications for the exterminations of the native people in this country. They came from Europe trying to escape racism, trying to escape oppression from their own people. But the people that were here, they said, you know what? We call ourselves Christians. We call ourselves believers. And so to justify treating them horribly, we'll redefine them and say that they're not human. They're not created by God. They're not on the same level. And now we feel better when we eliminate savages. Well, black folk, let me tell you something, that the same kind of treatment, when they said that we were not full humans in their eyes, their so-called sanctified eyes, they looked at you differently and less than. And so to treat you like you're a nobody did not bother their conscience. But can I tell you, they never knew God, not the God that we serve, the God of diversity diversity, the God of equity, and the God of inclusions. Say yeah. They made their statements, but Trayvon Martin, Renisha McBride, Jordan Davis, Rakia Boyd, Jonathan Farrell, Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo, brothers Garrett and Carl Hopkins Jr., Marlene Pinnock, Eric Garner, Roseanne Miller, Ursula Orr, Michael Brown, Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray, Walter Scott, Christian Taylor, Laquan McDonald, Yvette Smith, Latanya Haggerty, Philando Castile, Samuel DeBose, Akai Gurley, Brendan Glenn, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tyree Nichols, Sandra Bland, and countless others who are being killed daily, even by our own kind. They're speaking too loud. The privilege of respectability didn't save them, nor will it save any of us. You trying to be a respectable Negro, trying not to cause any problems, trying not to ruffle any feathers, but the privilege of being a respectable Negro didn't save any of them. In Psalms 139 and 14, this is what Scripture says: I will praise thee, for I, Ron Rawls, I, Kiera Hall, I, Sharon, I, Brianna, I, Rod, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. You got to know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are God's prized creation. You and all of your melanin are created in the image of God. Dr. Martin Luther King, he spoke these words at a powerful quote. He said, talked about the danger of being silent. He says that our lives begin to end the day that we become silent about the things that matter. I declare to you today that black lives matter. Kings and queens, black lives matter. The salt of the earth, black lives matter. God's blessing in the air, black lives matter. God has blessed us. God has blessed us with minds to think. God has blessed us with abilities and gifts. And if you don't like it, that's your problem. But I stand here today on God's pedestal and declare that black lives matter. My grandbaby matters. My children matter. My wife matters. My members matter. My community matters. Black lives matter. You can try to control what's being taught in schools, but we are great, and you've been horrible. You've been negligent over the blessings that God has given you. Black lives matter. You can count me out. You can say what you want to say. You can talk about me as much as you please. But when I see blackness, I see greatness. When I see blackness, I see excellence. When I see blackness, I see intelligence. Why? Because black lives matter. Sister, I love you. Brother, I love you. My village, I respect you, because God told me to tell you that black lives